So a common question that potential clients raise when they call our workers' compensation law firm and when they talk to our workers' compensation attorney, Daniel Garza, is what do I do in a situation where the company doctor says, hey, you are fine, go back to work and live happily ever after, and I'm still in pain, and I went to see my own private doctor, and my private doctor said, oh no, that's a misdiagnosis, and disagrees with what the company doctor is saying. What do I do in that situation? Well, people ask our workers' compensation attorney, Daniel Garza, that question all the time because it's pretty common to have that disagreement between two doctors. And people will say, well, wait a second, aren't doctors supposed to, scientific and all that stuff? Why is there disagreement? Well, as Daniel Garza will explain, practice of medicine is, yes, there's a lot of science involved, but it's still an art, and there's still a big room for difference of opinion and interpretation. So if you confronted the company doctor and said, something rather outlandish or provocative, doctor, I think you're lying, the doctor could totally defend themselves and say, no, based on the evidence I see here, this is my interpretation. However, between you and me, is that the only interpretation that's possible? Very often not. I mean, your own doctor is disagreeing, so that tells you something right there. But what happens at that point? Well, if you've been treated and you're locked into the company doctor and they're making the medical decisions, then that's you, and they say, hey, you got to go back to work. Daniel Garza is going to tell you, you probably do at least need to try. And if it's too painful, then at least you can show you try. But the longer term solution is that if you call us, we can refer you to doctors who are skilled in workers' compensation cases, but they don't work principally for insurance companies or for employers. And they can make the more in-depth imaging and studies that prove what your situation is really, and they also can file what's called a change of doctor notice, and it's generally approved. And once that happens, then you're going to be very often on the road to real recovery, both physical and financial. So remember, the call is free, the information is free, and the one person who can benefit the most is you.